Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the non-Muslims that are watching. My name is Jason Thomas, or some people know me as Hussein Thomas. Basically, I'm doing this video for a lot of youth. The reason why I'm doing this video is because basically I wish I spent a lot of time going in and out of jail, community service, probation, hanging on council estates, getting into a lot of trouble when it wasn't needed to. And alhamdulillah, all praise is due to God. I'm Muslim now. I've left that life and I'm far from it. But you know, I wasted a lot of time there, and I think there's a lot of young boys, Muslim, non-Muslim, who are going through the same thing. And I just wish that at an early stage, when I started living that life, someone took me aside, and showed me a better way. And I think there's a lot of young boys who, through no fault of their own, are getting caught up in this life at the beginning, and end up wasting maybe half of their life, 3/4 of their life, or all of their life in this cycle. So anyway, basically, where should I start? There's many ways growing up. I'm talking about generally people growing up in council estates. In America, if there's anyone watching from America, might be known as the blocks. Now, if you're from America, if there's anything that doesn't apply to you or is different where you are, then just disregard it and just take the good, which applies to you and is beneficial to you, and the stuff that isn't. But for those of us in like London or the UK, who growing up in council estates, housing provided for the governments and so forth, I really want to talk to you because there's about four different ways that we're raised by society, and we're told to do a lot of things that get us caught up in this life that are unnecessary, lies, false and untrue. And sometimes if someone just gives you just certain scenarios and so forth, you can apply them in your life and help you to avoid a lot of problems. So and thanks God to be a Muslim, I haven't been to university or anything, this, that and the other. I work now, I work in the security and this, that and the other and so forth. But just becoming a Muslim enabled me to come out of this lifestyle, even without any qualifications or any degrees or PhD and so forth and so forth, and socially saved me from a lot of things, smoking weed, having kids out of like baby mothers everywhere and so forth. But anyway, look, let me tackle the first thing. So therefore, one of the main things we're taught, and a lot of us are growing up in single parent families. So one of the main things we're taught, that the purpose of life is to make money and have material things. And we're told that basically this is what you're told, and most of us are growing up without fathers on council estates. So basically we're told as young guys growing up on council estates or the blocks or whatever, is that the more material things you have, the more it equals you're a man. So a man is defined by the amount of material things you got. So if you don't have like a big car, a big house, with a driveway and a big garden, you're nothing, you're crap. If you don't have a fat ride, if you don't have designer clothes and so forth, then you're rubbish. You have no purpose in life. And not only does this message, it's not just something told you on social media, on TV and the adverts you see around in the society and stuff. It's a reality in life. So from very young age you feel this. You might go to school and you don't have night trainers, or you don't have Adidas, or whatever the brand is, this, that, that. You got no name trainers or just plain trainers. People start laughing at you at break time, and people start mocking you, and you become the joke at lunchtime, So what happens is young boys in that early position, yeah, and that early age, yeah, they want to get out of that. No one wants to go to school with Dunlop trainers. I don't know if you got Dunlop over there, or you know what I'm saying, Gola trainers, or whatever it is, or very low brand trainers according to society, yeah, and get picked on. No one wants to do that. So sometimes even at a young age, you will start doing things to get a different pair of trainers or so forth, yeah, because you don't want to be picked on. So, like right from like young ages, from like 5, 6, whatever this type, and it's intense, yeah. The society tells you, like I said, most of us grow up, unfortunately, yeah, without a father, yeah. So we don't know what it's like to be a man. We don't know the definition of a man. We ain't got a blueprint. We ain't seen a man leave the house in the morning, yeah, and come back late at night, yeah, tired and exhausted from work. Like we don't have that blueprint. Like he's not in our lives. Like I think in London, if you go to council estate and like 9 out of 10 children, 9 of them don't even know who their father is. You know, their father's out there somewhere sleeping around with this woman, that woman, this, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. Unfortunately, that's a whole different subject which I'm going to go into. But unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, men's phones, wallets, car keys are more important to them than the children. Like a man can have 5 children out there, yeah, with this woman, that woman, that woman, you know, and not check on them for 5 years, 10 years, their whole life. But if he left his phone in McDonald's or, you know what I'm saying, or a nightclub or what is it, like in a shop or something, he will go back and check on it, you know. But he can have a kid, a human being. He can have a kid out there, yeah, something that breathes, something that sees, something that hears, something that has a heartbeat, and he can just forget about it. But um, this is a whole different what is it? This is a whole different topic. But anyway, the whole point is we don't grow up with father figures, yeah. So the whole thing is that we don't have no blueprint or example, yeah, of what a man is, you know, or for a man to correct us when society tells us wrongly what a man is, yeah. And this is one thing I think about Islam is because Islam told me from when I became Muslim inside prison and stuff, I stopped giving a damn about peer pressure. I stopped giving a monkeys about peer pressure, whether it be friends, whether it be social media, whether it be adverts, whatever. You know, the reason why I stopped caring about it is something called Tawheed, and I'm going to get into this later, you know. But the only peer pressure I started caring about is what the creator thinks. But the whole point is that, yeah, so society tells us from like 5, 6, whatever, like really young ages that you're crap unless you have designer clothes, yeah, or you have posh material things, yeah. So obviously, you're feeling that pressure, you're going to school, you know what I'm saying, and so forth, and you don't have like brand trainers and stuff, you feel crap. You see what I'm saying? As you get older, you know what I'm saying, and stuff. And it happens as well in society. It happens as well in society. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to hang out with you if you're not wearing designer clothes. You know what I'm saying? Girls don't want to know you. Like, as Muslims, we don't believe in fornication, you know? And that's a whole different subject, and we'll go into it. And there's practical reasons behind it and stuff like that. But we don't believe in girlfriends or one night stands or raving and clubbing, you know, and sleeping with girls. Like, we only have marriage. Marriage, that's it. That's the only thing we have. And I'll explain that later. Yeah. But the whole thing is that people don't want to know you, whether it's guys, whether it's girls. Nobody wants to know you unless you got like designer clothes and so forth. So what happens is that the pressure starts at very young. Yeah. So as you're getting up and you're growing up, you're growing up and you're getting older and so forth. Yeah. You want to be accepted in society, innit? You know, and you want to have friends and you want people to like you and so forth. You know, and because this society, this capitalistic, atheistic, secular society, yeah, is just telling you 24/7, you are rubbish unless you have this. You are rubbish. You mean nothing unless you have that. You feel it. Yeah. I don't believe anyone young, black, white, whatever, so forth, is born evil. Yeah. Is naturally born evil and will go out there and rob someone. Whether it's like go to a jewelry shop and smash it up and attack the staff in there and take jewels. Or you know, it doesn't happen that often, like, but bank robberies, yeah, or hold up a shop, you know what I'm saying? Hold up an off license or this, that, and the other stuff. I don't believe people naturally are born to do these things yet. But a lot of you end up doing it. And why is this? This is because we're told you are nothing without material things, yeah? And also now you have YOLO, the music industry. This is a whole, what is it? A whole different, you know, area that I'm going to go into, the music industry, because I'm not saying music is not the only influence, yeah, but it's one of the major influences to why a lot of youth go into crime and this that. And I'm not saying it's not the only influences, but it's one of the major influences. And I think music has more of effect than movies nowadays, yeah. And I'm gonna go into why, because I think people spend more time with music than they do watching movies. In fact, music videos are like little movies now, and that's another thing in Islam. Yeah, we don't deal with music. Me and Muslim people might tell you there's Islamic music and there's no such thing. Talk about as a human being, I know it's hard to fathom, and I know it's hard, you know. Even myself, as someone before Islam, I used to love music. The first thing I used to do every day when I woke up was, you know, put music on and light a spliff. Yeah, but I don't listen to any music at the moment, and I'm a happy person. Before, I need to listen to music to be happy, but now I'm Muslim. Alhamdulillah, I'm free. I don't need, you know. A Muslim is someone that tries to submit to God's will. Yeah. And a person who does that, I'm not perfect. I got my issues, I got my problems and stuff like that, and so forth. And there's certain things I struggle with and so forth. But a Muslim is someone who tries to submit to God's will. And a truly free person doesn't need weed, doesn't need music. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't need substances, yeah, to be happy. A truly free person doesn't need these things, yeah, to be happy. If you take music away from a person and they become upset, that person is not truly free. If you take weed away from a person and they can't be happy, you know what I'm saying? They're not truly happy. They're not truly free. If you have to take alcohol away from a person and that person still can't function without it, they're not truly free. But anyway, the whole point I'm trying to say is that, yeah. So that because we grow up with no fathers, yeah, and like we've got mothers. Our mothers are most of the time working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, trying to pay the bills, and they're trying to be the mother and the father. But because they're working all the time, you know, they're either working all the time or they're resting to go to work. So it's like there's not much communication, and there's not much there's not much how can I say, conversation, quality time. And that's not due to the mothers. Single mothers, wallahi, they're priceless. Like I said, Islam doesn't agree with sex outside of marriage and single mothers, how can I say, and you know, girlfriends and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just talking about the effort that mothers, that, and I don't even think you should call them single mothers. I think they should be renamed abandoned mothers, because half of the time, you know, the term single mother makes it sound like the mother did something, when 9 out of 10 times it's just the father abandoned her. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's her fault, because most of the time, you know, a guy might just meet a girl at a club because she's wearing hardly any clothes and she looks sexy or whatever, this, that, and the other, and so forth, and she allows a guy to sleep with her. He doesn't use protection. She gets pregnant, you know, on a 1-off, or she could have met him only for a few months and she's already allowed him to have sex with her and so forth, and she gets pregnant and stuff like that. So she's responsible for that part. But 9 out of 10 times, yeah, and that's why we believe in marriage. But I'm gonna go into that after, and on another date. But I'm talking about after she got pregnant, yeah. So then what's happened is that the man 9 out of 10 times runs away, yeah. But yet the mother gets called single mother when really she's been abandoned, because she 9 times out of 10 want to have the father there and carry on a relationship. But because of her fault for allowing a man to have sexual relationships with her when she didn't really know him, or it was just on, like, not much. He didn't have to sacrifice very much to have sexual relationships with her, and she got pregnant, or she allowed, like, and so forth. Like, she's part to blame for that. But the guy's also to blame for just abandoning a part of himself. Like, he's got a part of him, a living, breathing part of him, you know, out there on the earth, and he's just dust off, and he's most probably going to get another girl pregnant. But anyway, the thing is that yeah, like I said, abandoned mothers or single mothers and so forth, yeah, they're priceless. Like they're just always working, always cleaning, always putting clothes and so forth, and raising a kid. But there's not much quality time because she's always cleaning or working, and so forth. So when you grow up in that vacuum and there's no father there, like I said, there's no example of a man coming in the house. Yeah, so wake up in the morning, getting ready and this, that and the other, going out to work. Or there's no example of a man who has a trade, like he's a plumber, electrician or so forth, and he takes his son on jobs with him, and he sees his dad like fixing this or fixing that so he can be proud of him. Or like his dad owns a shop. I really believe, you see if a young boy had like a father, and this is one thing in Islam that's really stressed here, like in a community, yeah. The community I grew up was a mosque. A mosque is also known as a masjid. Yeah, it's like where we go to worship. Yeah, as you most probably know, the community that I grew up in, yeah, was a environment of convert, revert Muslims and so forth. So they were like people from the ends, from council estates, from the projects or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, predominantly black guys. Yeah, who, and I'm not talking about Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam are not Muslims. They got nothing to do with Islam. Nation of Islam. If you put cheese on a biscuit, yeah, and you can call it a burger 1,000 times, yeah, it's still not a burger. So Nation of Islam, they got nothing to do this. You know what I'm saying? Nation of Islam are racist. Islam, it believes in worshipping one God, a God that's not a man, not a woman, not a statue, not an animal, a God that doesn't, like the Bible says, God created the world in 10 days. In 6 days and rested on the seventh. In the Quran it says that God doesn't get tired. Like this is the main message of Islam, Tawheed, not worshipping a man, not worshipping a woman, not worshipping a statue, worshipping something greater. The Nation of Islam, they're on a whole totally different religion. They believe God is a black man, yeah, or that that God came down in the form of a man. They also believe that white people were created in a lab by a man named Dr. Yaqub. So the whole thing is that and Islam is not racist. It's not racist. Forget what you heard. Yeah, Islam, the texts of Islam are not racist, but Nation of Islam are. They believe that white people are devils by their nature. No, human beings can be good or bad depending on how they use their free will. But anyway, that's a whole different subject. I'll take care on another on a different on a different date. But the whole point I'm trying to say to you is that yeah. So like I truly believe if a young boy had a father, which a lot of them are missing from our families and so forth, is that if, like, for example, in the morning he went with him to fix up the shop, put the stock in and set up the shop and this, that, and so if he spent time doing that and filling all the shelves and doing all the stock taking, a young boy is not going to go out there and be able to rob a shopkeeper, or smash up, vandalize a shopkeeper's place or steal from them and stuff like that. Why? Because he's put the effort in himself. He knows the sacrifice. He can relate and stuff like that. But like I was saying, because a lot of us come from, a lot of relationships are from fornication or from just, you meet a girl at a club or this, that and the other, so forth, or whatever it is, yeah. Yeah, our fathers are not around, so forth. And so because we don't have that blueprint, yeah, we take shortcuts. So society's telling you, adverts are telling you, social media is telling you, music is telling you, you know what I'm saying? You are nothing unless you have material things. You go out, you've got no father to filter that stuff and tell you nice things are good, but they're not the be all and end all. You know what I'm saying, and so forth. You don't have a spiritual or father. You know what I'm saying. For example, if you grow up in a Muslim household, you're gonna see a man not only working, you know what I'm saying, but also praying. You see what I'm saying, and so forth. And yeah, so like we're getting all these messages and all this pressure for society with no filter. Mum's always tired, mum's always working and so forth, and we're being brainwashed. You know what I'm saying, and we're feeling we're useless as well. Also, another thing, when you grow up in a council estates and you grow up on blocks without a father, yeah, a father, this, that, and the other, and so forth, you also have you don't know your worth. You know, for example, me before I became Muslim, I didn't know that I was worth something. You know, like I thought it was normal. I thought my way of thinking was either I'm gonna be outside, yeah, with free on, like be outside on the outside of jail, yeah, with nice material things, yeah, or I'm gonna be in jail because there's no point being outside if you don't have nice things, because society is just telling you 24/7 that life is about gaining material things, and if you ain't don't know your own worth, you know, like as a Muslim now, you know, if you study in religion and believing in something called Tawheed, I know God is perfect, yeah, and not only that, I know that as a creation of God, yeah, that I'm special. Like whether I don't care who you are, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're, you know what I'm saying, Eritrean, Sudanese, you know, Italian, Spanish, like European, Chinese, Japanese. Each one and every one of us are special and we're priceless. Why? Because there's only one of us, and the creator, yeah, specifically chose your eyes to be like this, or your ears to be like this, or your head to be like this, or your shape to be like this, or so forth. So the whole thing is that even twins, yeah, even twins have different fingertips. Even though they look similar, they're totally different. You know, they have different DNA and so forth. So the whole thing is that when you grow up on a council estate or the blocks or whatever and so forth, like you don't have a father that tells you that they love you or they care about you or you're special. You know? Like, so what happens is that you don't know how much you're worth. Yeah? You know? And you have a society on top of that telling you you're nothing if you don't have money. So imagine you never have a father that he loves you, or he cares about you, or that you're special, or that you are somebody, or that you mean something. And you have a society telling you that you're crap without money. You're crap because you don't have Versace. You're crap because you don't have Louis Vuitton. You're crap because you don't have Gucci, this, that, and so forth. And then when you go in a playground, then when you go to secondary school, then when you go to college or whatever and so forth, then when you're on hanging around the council estate, you feel that as well. You want to get out of that. Like I've been homeless, yeah, and I've suffered from real poverty in this, that, and the other. But I'll be honest with you, when I was doing crime, yeah, this wasn't when I was homeless. When I was doing crime, yeah, I wasn't doing crime, yeah, for bread and water. When I was going out there robbing people and doing this, that, and the other, I wasn't doing it. I never like robbed a businessman or a shop or this, that, and the other, and so forth, yeah. And then ran into a shop like a newsagents or a supermarket and got bread and water and was starving and trying to eat. Nah. When I was robbing, the reality of the situation was I was robbing, yeah, for designer stuff and for just to have for excess stuff. But I feel the society made me feel that I wasn't worth nothing until I had that. You know what I'm saying, and so forth. So the whole thing is that at the end of the day, is that yeah, this advertising, this capitalistic, secularist, atheistic, yeah, society, and also the music, YOLO. Like people don't really think when you're telling people, youth, yeah, that YOLO, you only live once. What does that mean? That means that there's no what is it? There's no consequence. YOLO, what YOLO tells you, the title, when it comes to you, you only live once, which is not true. As Muslims, we believe with no shame, yeah, that there's a day of judgment. Yeah, we believe with no shame, yeah, there's a hellfire. Yes, we believe with no shame, yeah, that there's a paradise. Yeah, these are physical places that exist. We don't believe we don't believe in that the police is the only justice they are. One, the police are sometimes unjust. Yeah. Two, there's people that get away with crimes. Yeah, and so forth. And two, God did not just give you a conscience. Yeah, that to tell you what's right and wrong. And when you disobey it, the only punishment there is, yeah, that that you feel guilty. God intentionally gave you a conscience, yeah? He intentionally gave you a conscience. And that conscience tells you when you're doing something wrong, yeah? We not only believe that, we believe he sent prophets as well for us to follow. But I'll speak about that later. But the whole thing is that We don't believe that a man can just go around all his life, yeah, sleeping with this girl, sleeping with that girl, yeah, getting them pregnant, they have kids on their own, they never check on them. Another man goes around robbing, stealing, this, that, the other, and so forth. His conscience tells him it's wrong, yeah, but he doesn't pay attention to it, yeah, and then he dies, yeah, and he doesn't get caught for this stuff, and that's it, he's just chilling. We don't believe that God intentionally gives someone an intellect, yeah, and a heart, yeah, and they disobey that, and they feel guilty about it. They know it's wrong, but they just carry on doing it, yeah. And that if they die, yeah, and they escape the police or they escape the baby mothers and this, that, and the other, and they don't take care of their kids and this, that when they die, that's it. They're just chilling. Or there's no responsibility. No, we believe you have this life here, you have your conscience, you have a day of judgment, you have prophets that God sent along, yeah, like Moses, Abraham, Jesus, Moses, and this, that, and the other, and so forth, and so forth. And on a day of judgment, yeah, according to the messages, the lifestyle that God told you to live, yeah, if you obey it, you get rewarded. If you disobey it, yeah, then you get punished, you know. But we believe the only authentic way of that message, of that lifestyle that they live, of the rules and regulations, is in the Quran. But I'm going to go into more of that later. But what I'm trying to say to you is that, yeah, so basically growing up, yeah, as youth in fatherless homes, yeah, which is a result of fornication or zina, yeah, sleeping around outside of marriage, clubbing, raving, you know what I'm saying, and so forth, yeah. When you grow up without a father, someone telling you you're important, someone telling you you're worth something, someone telling you that you mean something, yeah, it's very easy for people to take advantage of you, yeah, and to use you to their advantage. So like I'm saying, many boys who grow up without a father on the council estate, on the council estate, there's elders there, you know, because what happens when you don't have a father, you look for someone else like you as a role model, yeah. We take actors as role models, we take musicians as role models, we take the people in the council estate as role models. And that's what happened. On the block of the council estate, the people, you know, you go up with no father, the people who you see, yeah, who look like you with material things are the criminals. So you go up, mummy's always working or resting or clean up the house, you know, there's not much quality time, your father's not around, you've never had the example of what it's like to see a man go out and work and come back tired, you know what I'm saying, or your dad take you out and do plumbing, like fix someone's sink or fix someone's, you know, your dad's a carpenter, fix someone's door, or he owns a shop and you filling up the shelf and so forth. So what happens is that yeah, there's a vacuum, yeah, and then you get educated how to be a man by TV, yeah, and by music, and by people in the council estate, yeah, and it's the wrong definition, yeah. The people in the council estate with the motorbike, the flashy motorbikes and the flashy cars and the designer clothes, that they're all they're all criminals, yeah, and they take advantage of you. When you're a young guy, they take advantage of you, and the way they do it is very, very slick. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know about all this stuff before I was a Muslim, and I thank God that I'm a Muslim now, because these tricks they can't play these tricks on me anymore before, and they come in the guise of your friend. So you'll be there, you'll be there, you'll be a guy from the single parent family. They'll see you on the estate, and they say yeah, and then they try and get you to do certain things. So they might go and try and get you to rob someone or carry drugs for them or something. And what they will do is that you will think they're praising you. It's all psychology. Now I thank God for the Quran and Sunnah, because now I can, like, it's easy to detect when people are using you. Yeah. So they might say, give you some drugs to carry or tell you to go rob a shop, you rob the shop. And then they say, let's say his name's David or whatever, or Jamal or whatever. They say, Jamal's a bad man, Jamal's a rude boy, Jamal's like crazy, he fears no one, he's ruthless, you know what I'm saying? See how he robbed that man, this, that and the other. He's just telling you this stuff to gas you up because, one, he knows you've never been praised. He knows you don't have a father. He knows you've never been told that you're special. He knows that you've never been praised. Yeah? All you've heard from society, the images of you on the news and so forth, it's all negative. But when this older man, praises you, yeah, it says, yeah, you're crazy, yeah, you're fearless, yeah, you take it as a praise of this, that. But he's just using you. He's telling you to rob this person and so forth, so he gets, so you go out and risk your freedom and so forth. He's telling you you're crazy and this, that, so you'll carry the drugs or carry the gun or shoot this person or whatever. He's just basically psychologically playing with you. But you think that he respects you. And what you do, you exaggerate. You go out, you go out, you'll exaggerate, you'll do whatever you can to earn this person's praise, So the whole thing is that at the end of the day is that, when a person doesn't have no purpose, you know what I'm saying, has no father, you know what I'm saying, it's very easy for people to take advantage of him. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say is that, you should know as a human being that God created you priceless and that you're special and that there's only one of you, and that this is another thing you have to also be aware, yeah, that that you deserve to be free. Your freedom, yeah, is more important, yeah, than any trainers, than any designer jeans, whether any designer shirt or any, car or any, what is it I say phone or whatever and so forth. It shouldn't be normal for you to be locked up, yeah, like a cage, like an animal, yeah, in a cage, because many of us, because we don't know our purpose, you know what I'm saying, because we got no guidance, yeah, because we got no link with the creator, haven't read his revelation, we don't know that we're important. So we think it's normal, it's okay to spend most of your time in prison and a few months on the outside. Yeah, it's okay to be locked up in a cage where you can't do nothing, locked up for 23 hours a day. You can't go toilet unless the governor brings you toilet paper. You can't eat unless the governor opens the door for you to go to eat. You can't have a shower unless the governor allows you to go to the shower. In jail, you're totally like people say, there's gangsters and rude boys and stuff in jail. There's no gangsters and rude boys and bad boys in jail. Like as Muslims, we do believe that no human being is dependent. We're dependent on God's oxygen. We're dependent on God's sunlight. We're dependent on God putting food on this earth. Yeah. But I'm saying in prison, you're on a different type of dependency. There's nothing you can do, yeah, without the permission of the guards, really. You can't go gym without the guards. You can't get toilet paper without the guards. You can't go and have a shower without the guards. You know what I'm saying? You have to. You living in a cell most times with another person. You know what I'm saying? You think you're tough. You think you're rough. You think you're bad and stuff. But you have to share a cell with someone. And when they go toilet, this is how uncivilized it is. You have to stay there. And when a person goes toilet, you hear the poo drop in the water. And you have to smell that crap, and there's nothing you're always supposed to be a gangster and a rude boy and stuff and all this stuff, but in reality you're in a situation which you hate being in. A man goes toilet, you hear the crap drop in the toilet, hear it splash and this, that and the other and so forth, and you have to smell it. So how much of a bad man are you? You can't even get out of that situation. So the whole thing is that at the end of the day is that I just wish there's a youth that someone came along to me and basically spoke to me as a youth and told me, like you're worth something, you're special, you know what I'm saying, you don't deserve to be, it's not normal to, be locked up in a cage like an animal, you know what I'm saying. And I thank Islam because now I have self-esteem, now I know my purpose, now I know how much I'm worth, due to Tawheed, finding out about the Creator, knowing that the only peer pressure you should really care about, the only, the main thing in your life, yeah, you should become concerned about impressing is the Creator. Because at the end of the day, yeah, all this peer pressure, whether it's in school, whether it's in college, whether it's on the council estate, and so forth. All this peer pressure that comes from, friends, yeah, or cool people, the popular people, yeah. Wallahi, I swear to God, yeah, that at the end of the day, yeah, none of it matters, because when you give it to the peer pressure, whether you be young and people laughing at you because you're a virgin, you know what I'm saying? You're, I don't know, 15 or 16 or this, that, and the other, people laughing at you, or you may be 13 even, 13 or 12 or whatever, and people are laughing at you because you're a virgin. And to get to get them off your back, you go around and sleep with some girl, this, that, and the other. You get them pregnant, yeah, and you ain't got your own life sorted out. You ain't got money coming in. You ain't got your own place. You ain't got your own place, and the girl gets pregnant, and now your life is over. You're living for someone else, yeah. And you haven't got a place. You ain't got money coming in. You ain't got a place for the girl to stay. You ain't got a place for the baby to stay. Your parents are most probably going to chuck you out. You know what I'm saying? All this peer pressure, this crazy stuff that we do to fit in. I would say that when you're young, 90% of the actions you do when you're young, yeah, they're to please other people. Like, think about it, whether it's college, yeah, whether it's school, whether it's on the end. When you're young, yeah, you'll find there's a group of people, and out of that group of people, there's one or two people that lay down the rules, and everyone else is trying to fit in with these one or two people. Yeah, ask yourself: in my group of friends, am I a follower? Yeah, I'm a follower or am I a leader? And most of the time, you're a follower. Yeah, and what you find is that people do whatever they can, yeah, to try and fit in. So whether it's losing your virginity and stuff like that and so forth, most times the reason why a person done it, yeah, was to fit in the crowd so people won't laugh at them and mock them and this, that, and the other. And people think they're cool, this, that, whether it's smoking, drinking, crime, whatever. Most of these things, you do them when you're young, yeah? You do them when you're young to fit in. Like smoking. Smoking is not something attractive. When I mean it's not something attractive, like most people start smoking, yeah, because there's pressure on them through friends or a group or this, that, and the other stuff. Smoking don't taste nice, yeah. It makes your fingers yellow. It makes your teeth yellow. It makes your breath smell. You see what I'm saying? It messes up your breathing. It makes you unfit and so forth. Like, the only reason you do it is because there's a group of people there smoking and stuff like that, acting cool and this, that. You want to hang around with them. You don't want to be the only one out, so you start smoking. And then you become addicted. So the whole point I was trying to say, the whole point I wanted to say is that, look, if you're a young person, yeah, don't give a damn, yeah, Muslim or non-Muslim, don't give a damn, yeah, about peer pressure and what people think of that. Whether it's like I said, being a virgin, whether it's like not having the latest clothes, whether it's like you won't stab people, shoot, don't give a damn what people do. Let them call you names, let them laugh at you, let them mock you, let them insult you, whatever. It's better to be who you are and live by the principles that you actually believe in, yeah, than to give into the peer pressure. Because I guarantee you, them same people that are mocking you because you're a virgin, because you won't rob someone, because you won't shoot someone, because you won't start smoking weed or this, that, them same people are mocking you. When you give into their peer pressure and you mess up your life, you get someone pregnant, yeah, you rob someone and you go in jail, you start smoking weed and this, that, and the other, and it starts messing up your life and so forth. They are not going to give a damn, yes, about the problems you have in your life. And trust me, the problem of people mocking you, laughing at you, insulting you, and teasing you and this, that, and the other, and so forth, yeah, is a lot less, yeah, than the problem of being in jail, being addicted to something, having a kid when you're not ready to have a kid, and so forth. So I would just say is that be your own person. You know what I'm saying? Be your own person. It's better to be, you can be known as two people. You can be known as, you can be one of two people. Either you can be a person who lives, yeah, and follows what they truly believe is right and wrong, and a person of principles, or you can be a yes man and hang with the crowd and do whatever the crowd say, yeah, just for them to keep you as a friend, yeah. And The best way to do is to live by your morals, live by your own principles and so forth, yeah? And and basically be respected for who you are, because then if you live your own live according to your own morals and your own principles, yeah, the people that are attracted to you, yeah, and become your friends, yeah, they will be true friends. Why? Because they know you're not a follower, they know you're not a yes man, they know you only do what you actually believe is right, and they will become your friends because of that, yeah. And they will not try to make you do things that they know you're a strong person, so will not try and make you do things that go against your own well-being and so forth, and they will respect you. But if you become people, you do whatever you can to fit with people, they will know that you're just a weak-willed person, and whatever they want you to do, whether it's smoke, drink, or do certain things for them, or do anything to fit in, they'll end up using, you know. But what I would say to you is this: look, guys, I'm gonna do a lot more of these videos, but I'm just making this video. Like I said, I grew up on a council estate, you know, in a one-parent family. My mum was Jamaican, my dad was Haitian, but my father was never around, you know. Yeah, basically, what I'm saying is that, listen, I've done like hundreds of hours of community service. I've been in jail twice. You know, I've been in and out of probation like so many times and so forth, yeah. And I wasted a lot of time as a youth, yeah. And basically, I'm making this video because even if it's one youth that watches this video, yeah, and starts thinking and stops hanging around with certain people, or stop getting to crime, or stop, you know, sleeping around with all these girls, you know, and living that life of like clubbing and just, you know, sleeping to go different girls that having kids here and there, you know, then it's been worth it and so forth. And what I would say to you, yeah, what I would say to you is that everyone is following somebody. I don't care how open-minded, how free you think you are, how intelligent you think you are. We are all following someone, yeah, subconsciously, yeah, or consciously. You are following somebody, yeah. And the reality of the situation is that right and wrong is not defined by society. It's not defined by people in 2000 or whatever. Right and wrong is defined by the Creator. And I'm telling you, you're either going to end up following the prophets, yeah? And I believe in Adam, I believe in Moses, I believe in Jesus, I believe in Muhammad. I believe all these people were prophets. They came with one message. They didn't come with many different messages. They all came with one message, and that was worship God alone, yeah? And live according to God's life. You know, Adam didn't come from one religion, Moses didn't come from another religion, Jesus didn't come from another religion, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, and all the prophets didn't come with separate religions. They came with one. The word Muslim means someone who tries to submit to God's will. Yes? And that's what all the prophets came and said. None of them said they're God. Not Jesus, not Muhammad, not Adam. None of them came with, worship me, I am God. All of the prophets, they prayed. Yeah? God doesn't pray. He doesn't need help from anyone. You can't kill God on a cross. Yeah? So I'm saying Jesus, he came and told people to worship God. Whenever he'd done a miracle, he told them that it's by God's permission he's doing a miracle. Jesus ate. Jesus slept. He was a man. You know, as Muslims, if we don't believe in Jesus and his miraculous birth, he didn't have a father. Not meaning like them waste man I was talking about. For miraculously he didn't have a father. We believe in this. We believe he done miracles by God's permission. We believe in Moses and him splitting the sea and so forth. So all these people, they came with one mission. Look at the Muslims today. The Muslims fall down on their face and pray. Yeah, that's how you. And they worship God. Yeah, the prophets, they all fell down on their face and pray. Yeah, in the Quran, it talks about God. You should have no images of God. You should have no pictures of what you think God is. God is just something supreme that you've never seen in this earth or in this creation and so forth. When you go into the mosque, there's no pictures of God, and there's no pictures of his prophets. Not all. You know, we don't have pictures of the prophets as that, because the mosque is only a place of worship. So like I'm saying, if you look at the lives of the prophets, it's very simple. They fell down on their face and they all had bears. They all wore simple clothing. You know, if you see Mary, she dressed like a Muslim woman. You know what I'm saying? You know, they didn't believe in idols. They didn't believe in good luck charms, so forth. So what I'm trying to say, this was the way of the prophets. And the Muslims ain't perfect, but if you look at the Muslims and you look at the prophets of old, yeah, they're still feeling the same way. Look, I'm not being rude. I come from a Christian family. When you go into church, there's a big statue, big idol of a cross, you know. The first of the 10 commandments was, Hear, O Israel, your Lord God is one. The second one was, thou shalt have no graven images. Now there's images of a God, of a cross, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. They believe that Jesus is God, but Jesus prayed, Jesus ate, Jesus asked for help. He was a worshipper of God, he was a prophet of God. But he wasn't God, the creator of the sun, the moon, the stars, and the universe. You know, same thing with Moses. You know, and Muhammad. If you worship Muhammad in Islam, you leave Islam because the prophets are not made for worship. So what I'm trying to say is that these men came with a lifestyle. They came with a lifestyle with worship God, work, get married before you have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like be humble in society and so forth. This was their message. Yeah. And the reality of the situation is that you're either going to follow the prophets, or you're going to follow the actors, and you're going to follow the actors, the rappers, and the celebs. You see what I'm saying? And trust me, what the actors and the rappers and celebs and so forth, what they think make right and wrong is not what's right and wrong. It's the prophets from God that come with his message that define right and wrong. So on the day of judgment, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. But on the day of judgment, if you come worshipping a man, yeah, as a Christian, yeah, worshipping one God's prophet, or you come as someone worshipping an idol or a statue or an animal, yeah, no amount of good deeds, you're barred from entering paradise, yeah. You're gonna fail on the day of judgment, yeah. So, and if so, it's not enough to just believe in, you know, the one true God. You have to follow the lifestyle of Moses, Jesus, and Noah. And like I said, there were people that worship God. There were people that got married. There were people, you know, that weren't clubbing and raving and so forth. And it doesn't matter if you're perfect at this, but you have to at least try and admit that this is the lifestyle that they're living and so forth. So I would just say to you, you know, if you're not a Muslim, get a copy of the Quran and read it for yourself. You're going to decide whether it's a book from the creator or it's not a book from the creator and so forth. And like I said, I made this video. I could have just made a video for Muslim youth that are growing up in these societies. But I did this video because as a non-Muslim growing up in this society, you know, I wasn't an evil person, I wasn't a bad person, but I ended up robbing people. I ended up oppressing people. I ended up taking liberties with people. And I wasn't a bad person, you know. Well, I didn't start off as a bad person, you know, but my company and society and stuff like that and so forth made me feel a certain way. And yes, I'm responsible for the things I did and the people I robbed and the oppression I did. But the society had a role in making me feel I was nothing because I never had A, B, and C. I was nothing because, you know, I didn't have these material things because I was told the purpose of my life was to have material things. And coming from a single parent council home, I never had many things. And rather than deal with the bullying and the being laughed at and not feeling crap because I got this or that and so forth, I gave into it, you know. But that doesn't take the blame off me. But if I can stop one person from going in and out of jail, in and out of community service, in and out of, you know, probation and so forth, then I'll be, you know, I will be, that will make me happy. So thank you for listening. I'm gonna check through the messages and get back to you guys. Okay, this video is streamed on YouTube. I'm also streaming it on Facebook. I don't know if you can save the videos on Facebook, so if you want to watch this video in its entirety, then go to YouTube. My channel is Street or Deen. Street or Deen. Deen is spelled D-E-E-N. So it's like Deen means like Islam basically. So it's like Street or Deen. Type Street or Deen into Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and follow me on that. I'm on most social medias. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate it very much for watching. Okay, top chat. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Your Arco said, I'm live. Yes, I'm live. Yeah, Alco said you lost weight. Yeah, I was ill, man. Ill. There's a problem. There was a problem with me. For what is it? For about 2 weeks, there was a problem with my throat and stuff. It was sore, and I wasn't able to eat solids. So for about 2 weeks, I was just eating fluids and so forth. And then and every time I even drank even every time I drank, it would yeah, it would pain me. And then it got better, and then it came back again for another like 3 4 weeks. So yeah, but I feel healthy, alhamdulillah. Um, what? Uh, X-Men. Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Hope everything's okay. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Islam, Kingdom of Boxing. Assalamu alaikum. Say brother, what are you doing, inshallah? I'm doing a live link up, bro, as you can see. Okay. Let me look through Facebook now. Okay. I saw a few messages while I was talking. I saw a few messages while I was talking, but I was talking so I could answer it. Alright, let's see this. Excuse me, I got hay fever, guys. Abu Shahada, Jazakallah khairan, bro. I can't believe it. Alhamdulillah, someone in America is watching. Check spelling. Yeah, thanks, bro. Abu Shahada. Guys, check out Abu Shahada's channel, mashallah. It's very good, man. He does, if you're in America as well, he does things for the youth, you know what I'm saying? Talks to youth, comes from street life and so forth. Hafi Muhammad Ali, real talk, thanks. I don't know. Ali Muhammad, no. Mehad, thanks. Okay, Abbas Khalaf is what you'd have here. I had a father, but it was never around. I never had that, but that moral support, unfortunately. Yeah. Do you know what it is? I'm going to be honest with you, yeah? You know what it is, yeah? I found, yeah, that with the Muslim families, yeah, I've got to say something. I've been Muslim and non-Muslim. I'm going to be just honest with you, yeah? With the non-Muslim families in general, yeah, the fathers are not around. That's just straight honest. Like, most of the time, the fathers are not around. What I found with the Muslim fathers is because of the religion and the way the culture's like fixed, it's unliked, yeah. Not unliked, but it's really looked down upon if you don't look after your kids. So in a Muslim community, alhamdulillah, yeah, there's a lot of fathers. I would say the vast majority of fathers are physically present, yeah. But there's a problem that, especially from back home, yeah, in certain countries back home, there's this myth that's going around, yeah, that as long as fathers provide, yeah, then they don't have to show love to their kids, yeah, and tell them I care about you or I love you or this, that, and the other. And this is nothing to do with Islam. I remember I was reading a hadith of the Prophet, and basically hadith, like, we have two things. We have the Quran. Yeah, hold on. Ali Yusuf, I see your question, yeah? I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm not ignoring you. I'm gonna get to you. I'm just gonna answer this. So what you'll find is that with non-Muslim fathers, generally they're not there because of the secular lifestyle and so forth, and it just tells them that, boy, YOLO, you only live once, and life is just about enjoying yourself and stuff like that. So there's no real incentive for a non-Muslim man, yeah? There's no real incentive for a non-Muslim man, especially a young Muslim man going up in this area of social media and stuff, yeah, to stick around with a girl if she gets pregnant, especially a girl he's met in a nightclub and stuff like that. Because imagine you're a young man, yeah, and you're told that your only purpose in life, yeah, is to have fun, like YOLO. Like, that's why you exist, to have fun and enjoy yourself. So what happens is you meet a girl, you're going clubbing, you know what I'm saying, you're sleeping with girls and this, that, and the other, a girl gets pregnant. Now, obviously, looking after a child is responsibility. It costs money, it's responsibility, and this, that, and the other, and so forth. Like, it's a big responsibility. It's like a full-time responsibility, ain't it? You know? So most young guys, when they think I'm that, my father, I have to look after a kid, I have to change nappies, I have to provide for him, I have to, like, hang around with this girl and stuff like that. They're thinking, listen, weigh up my desires and sleeping around with other girls and clubbing and stuff like this and so forth, yeah, or me sacrificing, yeah, me or me being disciplined and sacrificing and putting my life on hold, yeah, and providing for my kid. If there's no judgment day, if there's no God, yeah, if there's no paradise, if there's no hellfire, if there's only you only live now, and boy, if you get away with it, you get away with it. What incentive is there to be a good father? I'm not saying like you may find a few guys that are good fathers and stuff, but the vast majority on the whole, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to weigh more, my pleasure or my being responsible? And if I get away with it in this life, if I avoid this girl, like, okay, she's pregnant, I don't really know her, or she's my girlfriend and stuff, she got pregnant, this, that, and the other, and so forth. Either I'd be a dad and be disciplined and look after my youth and this, that, and the other, and so forth, or I just keep on enjoying myself, clubbing every week, sleeping with different girls every week. You know what I'm saying? Like just living a playboy lifestyle. If there's no consequence at the end of life, yeah, because legally in this country, there's no punishment. A guy from a teenage years, yeah, from when he reaches puberty, yeah, can every week, yeah, sleep with a different girl, yeah, yeah, get her pregnant, yeah, and there's no law against that. Like he could just do it up until what is it, 50 or whatever, and just carry on, just keep on doing it, keep on doing it, and there's no law against it. There's no deterrent against it. What's the deterrent for a guy from the age of puberty? Yeah, just sleeping around, sleeping around, sleeping around, sleeping around, sleeping around. Yeah, there's no deterrent. And if he doesn't believe in God, he doesn't believe in judgment day, he doesn't believe in the power, he doesn't believe he's going to be held accountable in the next life. Then the what's the incentive? There's no incentive. There's no incentive for him to be responsible apart from his own feelings. And if a man has to decide between, enjoyment, yeah, or responsibility, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna go with enjoyment. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, what I've noticed with the Muslim fathers is that Muslim fathers, they're present, they're physically present, and they provide, like they will work, you know what I'm saying? They work, they provide, they do long shifts, they're around. 9 out of 10 Muslim fathers are around. But what I find is that their cultures, especially from back home, somewhere they learned that being a man is, as long as I provide, yeah, for my children, I don't have to tell me, especially the sons, yeah, I don't have to tell them I love them. And this is problems. That's why in the youth work that I do, yeah, I come across Muslim boys, yeah, who come from financially stable and affluent families, yeah, but they selling drugs. So come across a guy, yeah, who comes from a two-parent family, but he's selling drugs. He's selling drugs. Now he doesn't need to sell drugs. He's got money. He's making stuff. Or he's in a gang. But what is that I believe that these guys, yeah, are not getting love from their father. They've never been told I love you. Their father doesn't say I care about you. The father doesn't say you're special. The father doesn't hug them or anything. So they look for love outside the house. And one people that will pretend to treat you like a family or pretend to like they love you and care about you is a gang. The gang will hug you, they'll embrace you, they'll praise you and say you're a bad man, you're a rude boy and stuff. Even though the elders are only doing this to take advantage of you, yeah, they will tell you they love you. They will show love to you. They will show. They will give you abundant affection until you get like birded off for 10 years, and then no one's gonna come and visit you and this, that, and the other, and so forth. And they will give you that love because they want to, you know what I'm saying, they either want you as numbers, yeah, to fight other gangs, or they want to use you to do crime, that elders don't want to do and so forth. So I found with Muslim fathers, who is that? Hafi that asked it. Yeah, Hafi Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I deal with Muslim boys who come from two-parent families, but the father's not showing love. And we as fathers, we have to break that cycle, And this is what I'm trying to say. This totally goes against Islam. Because Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, excuse me, I got hay fever. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, never did this. So this is not from Quran, it's not from Sunnah. Quran is obviously our holy book, which we believe was revelation from God. And the Sunnah is the Prophet Muhammad's sayings, actions, and what he allowed to be done in his presence. So if you hear me say a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, either it will be Prophet Muhammad said something, yeah, or he did something. So Prophet Muhammad, this is like properly goes against the text of Islam. For example, there was a Prophet Muhammad was playing with his grandchildren. Yeah, they were named Hassan and Hussein. Yeah, he was playing with them and like he was mucking about with them, like playing with them, wrestling with them, and he was like kissing them. Yeah, like and mucking about. Yeah, so what happened? A man, an Arab man, come along. Yeah, so he saw Prophet Muhammad was like mucking about with them. Yeah, and being affectionate towards them. Yeah, so the man said to him, "What?" He said, "You kiss your little boys and stuff like that. Like you show them affection and stuff like that." He goes, "I got 11," and he was proud of this because the definition in the Arab times before Islam, they believe that a man, you're big, you're strong, this, that, and the other. You don't show feelings and this, that, and the other. Showing feelings and saying you care is a sign of weakness. So he was laughing at the Prophet and saying, "Listen," or he was being like mocking the Prophet and saying, "Listen, I got 11 sons, yeah. I don't kiss any of them." So the Prophet, peace be upon him, he would replied to him and said, "Listen, if God has taken a rahmah, the mercy, out of your heart, I can't replace it." So the man saw the Prophet, and the Prophet was playing with the kids, and he was kissing them and mucking them out and this that. And the man was like, "Right, this man's showing affection to his kids. He's weak. He's a sellout. You know what I'm saying? He's a waste man. You know what I'm saying? You know." But the Prophet just replied to him, "Listen," and he boasted about it. He says, "I got 11 sons, and I don't kiss any of them." Meaning that he has no he has no relationship, a loving relationship with his sons. Maybe he works hard and he pays for them to do this and like pays for the house, for electricity and the rent and the house, whatever, yeah, well, and so forth. He provides, but he has no emotional relationships with his kids. So the prophet made it clear to him: "Listen, if God has taken the mercy out of your heart, I can't put it back in there." So that's the whole thing. Is this thing, yeah? Like we got plenty of narrations that the Prophet, even his wife, the Prophet used to race with his wife. You know what I'm saying? Play games with his wife. I remember that the Prophet, peace be upon him, what he would do, yeah, is that his wife would drink from a cup, yeah, yeah, and then what he would do is look for her lip, the marks where her lips was on the cup, and he would drink from the exact place in front of her and show her like, as a sign of affection. You see what I'm saying? So the Muhammad you hear about in the news and stuff, if you're not Muslim and stuff, you're not really hearing about the true Muhammad. So the whole thing is that Hafi, I understand what you're talking about. May Allah guide your father, to have more mercy, and hopefully we break this cycle to my brothers who come from abroad and stuff. We break this. If your father, you come from a home, yeah, that was unloving, and uncaring and so forth. And I believe fathers, if you got daughters, yeah, and you're not showing them love, you're not telling them I love you, you're not telling them you're beautiful, you're not telling them special, you're not even telling them that, listen, you're perfect, you don't need to wear makeup, you don't need to wear tight clothes, don't have to take off hijab to get man's attention, like to feel special, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. If you don't reinforce from a young age that you're special and you're priceless and you're beautiful, yeah, and you don't need makeup and all this kind of stuff, yeah, don't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're paying for her driving lessons, you're paying for, I don't know, for her to go on holiday. I don't care if you're paying for all that. If she doesn't hear I love you on a consistent basis, and you know what I'm saying, and so forth, yeah, she's gonna look for it outside the house. And I suppose probably gonna be, some guy. You know what I'm saying? It might be a rude boy with a Land Rover or some crap or some rubbish. And trust me, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this society, like kids need to hear, male, female, need to hear I love you, you're special consistently on a daily basis. Because this society is vicious. Okay. So when you go to school, your mind is not clear because of Ali Mehed. Yeah, that's true. When you go to school, your mind is not clear because of materialistic peer pressure. That's 100%. Peer pressure is real, man. It's not a joke. Because that you feel below the other kids in school, yeah. Wallahi, man. I remember when I used to go to school with Dunlop and Puma trainers, boy. That you was fair in dinner time, boy, because you knew the joke was on you, boy. Star brothers, we should be there for one another. Okay, so yeah, Ali Thingy had a question. There was a brother named Ali, and okay, where was it? Live chop chat. Okay, Ali said, Ali Salam bro, any advice on a brother struggling with his deen and letting go of his bad habits? Okay, that's brother fine, take your time. Okay, yeah, Ali Yusuf, I'm gonna get to other questions later. Okay, yeah, Ali Yusuf, this is my advice, yeah. Okay, brother that's struggling with bad habits. Okay, the hardest thing, yeah, the hardest thing I think most people find to give up here when they come to music is about three things, yeah? Music, weed, cigarette, and smoking normal cigarettes, yeah? And girls, yeah? Smoking is smoking, whether it's cigarettes and weed, and so forth. Okay, like I said to you, me, when it comes to music, me before when I became Muslim, yeah, and I found out music, yeah, and weed was haram, it was like, I was like, music is haram. I can't live without music. What are you talking about? Music is haram. Music is haram. Listen, every day this is reality, man. Every day I was kicked out. Like I said, I grew up in a single parent family. I was kicked out of my mom's house because of my own behavior about 16, 17. Yeah. 15, 16, 17. I can't remember exactly yet. See, that's what weed does to your mind, man. Yeah, 15, 16 or 17, I was kicked out because of my behaviour. Because I didn't have a father, yeah, so I started taking liberties with my mum. And look, we know, when you come from a single parent family, yeah, and your mum just tries to discipline you, how your mother disciplined you, yeah, and how, like when you have your mum that tells you not to do this and that and so forth, and so forth, and you have a dad that tells you how to not to do this and that, just the physical size of a man tell you don't do that, looking at you and like intimidating you not to do bad, yeah. It's different, man. And as you grow up and the older you get and stuff like that, the older I got, I started taking more and more liberties around because my mum, basically she couldn't discipline me and so forth. She tried and stuff like that. I had the belt, the slipper and so forth. And it worked when I was young. It worked. The belt and the slipper, yeah, that did used to stop me from doing certain things. But then when I got really older and I got bigger and so forth, I started ignoring her and just being, I became a Libby. So anyway, I got kicked out. It was my own fault. And my mum kept on telling me I was going to get kicked out. But I just thought, nah, she's not going to do it. She loves me too much, And my mum does love me endlessly. But hey, it just got to the stage where she had to. So anyway, I got kicked out at a young age. I was homeless for a while. And I ended up getting a hostel. But the point is this, yeah, look, I used to spend every day. I used to wake up listen how much I loved music, yeah. I used to have a music set right by my bed, yeah. Right by my bed. And like every morning, yeah, I used to wake up, yeah. I used to wake up and before my eyes open, I would press play. And some Tupac tune would come out, like Hit 'Em Up or some tune would come out for like a million swear words and just kill him, stab him, this, that, and so forth. And like that's how I would start off the day. So the whole thing is that, and that was my routine, man. That was my routine. I couldn't. When I was getting dressed, I would listen to music. When I was cooking, making breakfast, I would listen to music. When I was Now, I don't think there's anything having a shower. I don't think there's any time, yeah, I was doing anything, yeah, that music wasn't on and wasn't like, music was consistent through my life. So, and what would, the first thing I'd do is like I said, I wake up, before my eyes open, I'd press play. Then music blasts out, swear words, violence, this, that. The next thing I would build up a spliff, and that's like every day. Like, I used to live like that and so forth. So, like, when I found out music was haram, it was like, I thought, boy, it's impossible. It's impossible. Um, it's impossible for me to, give up music. It's impossible. And I thought that, listen, if I don't have music, I'm not going to be happy. And I thought weed, because people make weed. I'm going to do another whole topic about this because it deserves a lot more time. But people try to say that weed is a minor thing, man. Wallahi, weed is not a small thing, man. Weed is, to give up smoking cigarette or weed, yeah, it takes a huge amount of willpower. And people might say, oh, that's because of the nicotine and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, is that most people, yeah, the vast majority of people, yeah, cannot afford, yeah. One, don't have the know-how how to grow their own weed, yeah. Two, yeah, the vast majority of people don't have the money to just bum weed on its own. Because it burns slowly because of the cigarette and this, that, and the other. And two, also, it's like, weed mashes you up, man. It mashes up your memory, mashes up your fingers, mashes up your teeth, and this, that, and the other, and so forth. It makes you slow. Look at the people you know who've been smoking. Yeah, when you're young, you don't notice it. But look at the people who are 40, 50 who were smoking weed from when they were 20 and stuff like that. They speak so slow. They can hardly put a sentence. Together. Like, weed bums you out as well. Weed takes all your motivation out of you. People might say, yeah, it makes you think deep and this, that, and the other, and so forth. But it takes all your motivation out of you. It bums you out. Wallahi, people who live the weed life, yeah. They smoke bare weed. They live the same. It's like Groundhog Day. They smoke weed, yeah. Listen to tunes, yeah. Just talk about rappers all the time and rapper beefs and gang beefs and just celebs, and you just live the same day. Listen to the same tunes again, banning all the same, and you don't progress. But that's a whole different subject, you know. And as Muslims, we don't smoke weed anyway because we don't do intoxicants. As Muslims, it's haram for us to take intoxicants. And secondly, we don't get high as Muslims. We don't need to change our mind with alcohol, weed, or any substance, yeah, to be happy. You shouldn't need that. Because people smoke weed to escape reality. Yeah. You smoke weed to escape reality because life gets hard for people. But you shouldn't need weed to escape it. You know what I'm saying? How free are you if you can't be happy without weed? You know what I'm saying? So I would say to you, when I found out music as weed was haram, it hit me hard. And I thought, listen, man, I can't give up these. I don't have the willpower, mentally or physically, to give these things up. Music is too beloved to me, yeah. And weed, I'm addicted to it because when you smoke weed every day, it becomes part of you like oxygen. And what is that? If you don't have it, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Weed is not a small drug. If you smoke weed every day, it becomes part of your system. It becomes part of you, yeah. And when you don't become it, you become irritated to a high level. You become frustrated and irritated, and you become a terrible person to be around. Even your best friend, like, you become agitated, like, because you're used to the nicotine and you're just used to having the weed in your system and stuff like that. When you don't have it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're irritative. It's like, you know, and that's what I'm saying. If you're used to smoking it every day and you don't have it, like, and that's why we had a term for it. We used to call it roasting. Like, people say, I'm roasting. What it means is that I got that burning sensation. I need my fix of weed. I remember in prison, when I was in prison, there were guys, yeah, that you would think, like, on road, you see them in Versace and Mush and designer wears and stuff, and they look like they got money and this, that, and the other, and so forth. Nice car, this, that. You see people like this, yeah, in prison. You see people picking buttons off the ground, lighting the end, yeah. And this is not crack, this is not coke, this is not heroin. This is weed. You find people picking off cigarette butts, yeah, and weed, yeah, spliffs off the ground, yeah, just trying to smoke. There's nothing there. They're just trying to smoke and get a last blast out of it. Wallahi, it makes you like an animal, man. I'm telling you. No one wants to talk. Weed makes you paranoid as well. But men don't talk about it because men can't say, hey, boy, you see when I smoke weed, I think, like, people smoke weed, yeah, and then they'd be outside, yeah, waiting for the tube or train or something, yeah, and there'd be a couple next to them laughing, yeah, and they think, wow, they're laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? They're laughing at me, they're talking about me. Like, weed makes you paranoid. Check it out, man. Weed gives a lot of people a lot of psychological problems, but no man is gonna say, boy, you see when I smoke weed, yeah, I start, you know, thinking certain things, and because we're supposed to be tough, we're supposed to be strong. Anyway, yeah, the way I gave up weed and music, I just knew that I loved them too much, and boy, I didn't physically or mentally believe I could give it up. So what I just did, I just begged Allah. I made dua. I made dua to Allah, begged Allah, and said, look, Allah, you know, I want to worship you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a disobedient Muslim and so forth. I need your help to give this up. And I just made a sincere dua. And I sincerely believe, yeah, Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that He did not create jinn and mankind except to worship Him. I truly believe, yeah, that if you're suffering with a fitna, with it's drugs, music, whatever, girls, or whatever, yeah, if you make a sincere dua to Allah, yeah, that dua to make it easier for you to give it up and stuff. Well, not girls, because you can get married, but music, weed, yeah. That if you sincerely find it, are struggling with it and so forth, yeah, that if you make a sincere dua to Allah to help you to give it up with it, He will give you the ability to give it up. Because one of Allah's name is that He's Adil, yeah, that He's just, yeah, and that if Allah commanded you to do something that's impossible, He would be oppressive. What I mean is that if Allah said to worship Him, and part of worshiping Him is not doing A, B, and C, but it's impossible not to do A, B, and C, that's unfair. And that would make Allah unjust. And I don't believe Allah is unjust. You know, so it can be given up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it takes effort. You put the effort in. And the first days and weeks, yeah, was tough. But eventually, 2 months down the thing, line and so forth, you're like, the urge and the pull is less and less, and it's manageable, you know. And then after a while, now me, when I smell weed, it stinks. When I smell weed, it's like I can't stand the weed, yeah. I smell weed. I've always never liked this taste of alcohol, and I was never into alcohol, yeah. But weed now, it stinks. But I used to love the smell of weed before. I used to love it, but now it stinks to me, you know. And music, before I needed music to get dressed, to do my chores around the house, to clean up my place, and I needed to have music. I needed it. I don't need music now. I'm not dependent on it. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to any type of music. So yeah, I'd say just beg Allah, yeah, and make dua to her. As for girlfriends and that and so forth, look, there's plenty of good sisters that are practicing out there. No girl is worth burning in hell for. You know, same thing with me. I had a girlfriend, this, that, and the other, and yeah, you know, and so forth. But it's not worth it. No girl, I don't care how pretty she is, I don't care how fit she is, I don't care what her body's like, you know, I say how beautiful she is. No girl is worth burning in hell for. You know what I'm saying? And zina, fornication, is a major sin. You know, and you can never enjoy a relationship with a haram girlfriend, because you know the reality of the situation is that if I die, yeah, in this relationship, there's a big chance I might go to Jahannam, because, you know, zina is a big thing. And secondly, you might get her pregnant outside of marriage. And that's you know what I'm saying? But it's just not worth it. There's plenty of practicing sisters out there, you know what I'm saying? That will you know, that are just as good as her or better. Well, they're better than her because they got deen. So anyway, Jazakallah khair for anyone who was listening, wherever you are. Let me see if there's any more messages. Salam, brothers. We should be. Yeah. Shodi Islam, Salam, brothers. We should be there for one another. Correct. Okay. There was another question here. So yeah, I'm new to all this live chat stuff. So. Some chat. Assalamu alaikum Hussein, please keep doing what you're doing. So much respect. Last Sunday was my first time in Hyde Park. Very briefly, didn't manage to say hello, but next week inshallah. Okay, CFCBBR. No problem, bro. I'll see you there inshallah. Assalamu alaikum Sabdo Aki. We are supposed to be strong and not depressed. You're right. Yeah, Faizan. Yeah, you're right. We're supposed to be strong and depressed. And if you smoke weed, bruv, if you don't have the weed or you don't have the cigarette, you get stressed out and you get depressed. Yep. So much respect for giving up the weed and Aki music. Alhamdulillah, I'm happier now, man. I needed it before. If I didn't have it, I was relying on it. I was addicted to music. Like, people don't understand. You can be addicted to music. I was addicted to music, bruv. I'm telling you, man. I went happy unless I had my shoes on, bruv. But I don't have shoes anymore. I'm free. I'm happy, independent. Let me see. And I think that's it. So what you right? Okay. So I think that's it, guys, man. Jazakallah khair for watching wherever you are in the world. I appreciate it. If you've got any topics you want me to do, leave them in the comments. If there's any topics or any subjects you want me to touch on or so forth, or any advice, if I can give it, I can give it. Leave the message in the comments. Like I said, Street Ordine. Type in Street Ordine. Yeah, on any social media, and I should be on it, inshallah. And yeah, if you're on Facebook, I don't know if Facebook saves the actual video. So you can watch it on YouTube. Yeah, Street Ordine. Dean is D EEN. My mind's gone. Yeah, D. Yeah, Dean is DEEN. Yeah, stands for Islam. So, thank you very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And take care. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And if there weren't any non-Muslims that were watching, if you've got any questions about Islam, things you find offensive, things you disagree with, you want my take on it, then let me know. And I'll try and answer it to the best of my ability. If you think of a question and I end this stream, then all you have to do is just inbox me the question, and in my next live, I'll answer. I'm going to do a few lives a week, depending on subjects that I'm thinking about at the time. Anyway, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you for everyone for watching. How do I end this? Cool. Okay.